Happy Friday, everyone. We want to welcome you to our monthly nutrition live food demo. NOONtrition is a partnership between Basic Needs, Health Education and Promotion, and Housing and Residential Life to provide monthly food demonstrations based on healthy, easy, and affordable meals and snacks. So today we're excited to have MSW Basic Needs intern Michael Dye with us. Michael, thank you so much for being here with us today to demonstrate how to prepare this recipe. So without further ado, I'll turn the demo over to you.
Like Whitney said, my name is Michael Dye. I'm an MSW student here on campus. I'm also a Basic Needs ambassador for the Basic Needs office. We are going to be building and creating the Hearty egg burrito today. And I'm sure all of you probably got one of these index cards in your nutrition bags. So take this bad boy out and then follow along with us, and we're going to make some delicious food. Okay, but before we begin, first and foremost, obviously, we need to wash these hands. We don't know where they've been. We certainly don't want to get these things on our food if they're not clean. So let's get a nice wash going here real quick. Okay, with me. Those of you who are not familiar or unsure or unconfident around the kitchen, around the stove, please don't worry. I'm going to walk you through every step of the way. This is not a difficult dish to create, so please bear with us, and you are going to be just fine. So first things first, we are going to need some items in the kitchen to build our ingredients with. For example, one mixing bowl here. Doesn't need to be that big. We're going to be putting our eggs in here to mix eventually. So one medium-sized mixing bowl. Cutting knife obviously doesn't have to be this big. Looks like kind of Jason Halloween, but it doesn't need to be this big. It can be smaller as long as it gets the job done. A plate for our beautiful vegetables. And you may or may not have a cutting board, which is why I'm using a plate. Ideally, you would have a cutting board, but sometimes you might not have access to that. So a plate will work just fine. We're going to need some teaspoon measuring items here. If not, you can use your handy dandy teaspoon from the drawer. That'll work just fine as well, okay? So I'm going to I apologize. So we're going to need something to mix with. So I'm going to use this to stir up our ingredients with. I also have a medium-sized pan here. And this recipe wasn't calling for it, but I don't like my tortillas cold. So I'm going to warm them up here at the end to kind of brown them a little bit as well. Okay, so let's get started. First thing first, we are going to rinse off our vegetables here. So I already kind of rinsed them. Just give them a nice wash off with your hands. Dry them off with a towel. Kind of blot them a little bit, make sure they're not too wet. And then we're going to slice them up, okay? So what you should have, let me just go over the ingredients real quick. I'm kind of getting my head on myself. 3 green onions, one bell pepper, 1 clove of garlic, 2 ounces of cheddar cheese, low fat or not, up to you, a can of black beans, a teaspoon of canola oil, 4 large eggs, 3/4 teaspoon of ground cumin, a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, nonstick cooking spray, which I don't have today, so I'm probably going to be using a little bit of butter, and then 4 whole wheat flour tortillas. And I thought this was interesting. Fun facts, as you see on the back here, bell peppers have the highest vitamin C of any fruit or vegetable. I didn't know that. In fact, it's 3 times more than oranges. Peppers got the name from the Greek word pipari, meaning the black spice. And this is also interesting. All bell peppers start out as green, but yellow, orange, red, and purple are all stages of ripening and offer different levels of sweetness. So some fun facts to go along with our recipe as well. So let's start with our bell pepper. And when you cut the bell pepper open, you're going to see some seeds in there. So what I do is I like to kind of carve them out, kind of like a pumpkin. Get as much as you can out of there. There's like some white area as well. I would try to cut that out as well. Sometimes you might just use your fingers, so these seeds can get a little difficult to manage. So whatever you need to do, but try to get as many of those seeds out. They're not fun to bite into, that's for sure. I'm going to chop this bad boy up real quick. Let me get the rest of these seeds out. Hold on. Okay. Beautiful. My bell pepper isn't the cutest bell pepper, but it's going to work. It's going to work. I've seen cuter, but cute is not the name of the game here when we're talking about heat in my belly, okay? So I slice these up as thin or as thick as you like. It's kind of up to you, preference-wise. Apparently this serves, I believe, 6 servings, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, 6 servings, so maybe 6 burritos, I'm guessing. I enjoy cooking. I've been doing it for a long time. It's very therapeutic for me. I like trying different things, trying new recipes. Sometimes I just throw things together to see how it's going to taste. It's always fun as well. So if you're not a big kitchen person, I highly recommend it. It takes some acclimation, but when you get comfortable, it's pretty fun. And you can make some pretty amazing things as well when you're confident and you have some recipes in your repertoire. Almost done here with this bad boy. And this one's kind of difficult to cut. And often, I'm not doing it now, but try not to cut with your fingers there. Try to, when you're holding it, try to hold the last like knuckle of your fingers back so you don't accidentally get a hold of your finger when you're slicing, okay? I've never sliced myself, but it very well can happen, so. I think that should be good. For the purposes of this video, I think that's gonna work just fine. I'm gonna put it on this plate here so I can give myself some room. And then next, I believe we have some green onions, which I've washed off as well. These ones are not the cutest either, but they will do the trick. And so if you don't know, let me just show you this real quick. And don't judge my green onions, please. But you're going to want to slice these little, looks like hair on the end, some interesting looking phalanges. Slice that off. And you want to start at the very end, cutting the white part first, going into the lighter green, and not so much the dark, if you can see. So we want here and not so much here. If that makes sense, okay? Like so. Okay. Perfect. If at your discretion, you can just give it a couple of chops. You can cut more of it, whatever you like. It's totally up to you. Okay. Green onions are now sliced and ready to go. And I think at this point, we just need to get one of our garlic cloves here. Just gonna wash my hands off a little. Got a little green onion mess on my hands. Give me 1 second. Okay. So I'm gonna be honest, I generally don't use garlic cloves. I cheat and I use garlic salt. So you can do that as well, but this calls for a clove, and I'm not too savvy with the clove, but we're going to give it a crack right now. So you're gonna need to peel off, I already did it. You're gonna need to peel off the skin, almost like an onion, right? And they kind of break apart like so. You know, I mean, one of these would be considered one clove, as you can see here. So just take off one of these bad boys. You're gonna want to peel the excess off like so. Okay. If you can see that, I know it's hard to see. Peel it off, and you'll kind of be able to tell when the skin's off. Okay, it's gonna smell amazing. Don't get too close, it might burn your eye. That looks about good. Okay, we're gonna slice this up as well. And it's up to your discretion. If you like a lot of garlic, put the whole thing in there. I'm not a huge garlic fan, so I would probably just cut maybe a quarter of it. All right. It doesn't have to be pretty, okay? It's all gonna go in the pot, and it's gonna work out in the end regardless of how it looks. The goal here is to make sure it tastes amazing, and that's what we're gonna do. All right. Garlic clove down. Let's see here. We're gonna wanna add some black beans as well. So these black beans, I already opened the can. I put them in a strainer because it gets there's a lot of excess juice in there that we're not gonna need. So I have that here. I'm just gonna add this to my plate here, like so. Okay, and I think right about now we're ready to put it in the pan. So I'd say turn your burner up to maybe 5 and Sometimes these stoves are going to be a little temperamental. Some are going to burn a little hotter at 5, some not so hot at 5. So you might want to kind of play with it until you find the right temperature. Let's see here. Perfect. So we're going to put this in now. There we go. Check and move this closer. So if you can see here, oops, out of the way. I'm going to just kind of stir it around, and the idea here is to cook it for about 3 minutes until these bell peppers are soft, and you'll be able to tell as you poke at them the consistency of how it needs to be. So as long as it's not hard, you're good to go. And that's also a preference thing too. If you like them a little harder than softer, that's totally up to you, as long as you get them in there. Okay, let that cook for a second, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to get our eggs ready. Okay, so get your bowl here. All right. Beautiful. I believe it calls for 4 eggs. Let's see here. Yes. So the key here is make sure you don't get your shells inside the bowl, because it's going to be more crunchy than it needs to be, and it's not going to be very, very fun. Okay. One here. Please don't mind my mess. I will clean up when I'm done, I promise. And if you do get a shell in there, the best way is to use the shell itself to get it out of there. If you try to get it out with a spoon, you're going to be trying to get that thing out all day. Boom. Don't forget, you have this on, so you're kind of multitasking. You're going to make sure you continue to mix. Okay. I'll turn this down a little bit more so it doesn't burn it. Okay. There's that. One more egg here. We'll have 4. Beautiful. No shells in my eggs. Looking nice. Now we're just going to take you can use a fork. They happen to have an egg beater here. I usually use a fork, but I'm going to be fancy today since I don't have this at home. It's been a while. So just kind of swing this little thing around and kind of break up the yolks until the yolks are broken up, and it looks like a very fluid type of liquid. You might have to like pounce on a little bit. You're not really mixing it, you're kind of breaking it up, so you might need to put some elbow grease into it, okay? And as you can see here, it's closer. Something like this, okay? We're gonna add some cumin into this as well. Like I said, don't forget your pan over here. And I'm getting close to being done. My bell peppers are getting to the consistency that I want. All right. We want to break out our cumin. And I want to say it's 1/4 teaspoon. We just so happen to have a 1/4 teaspoon here. I'm being very spoiled today. Usually I would have to measure it out with an actual teaspoon, which is great. Ooh, that's not the one. Here it is, my 1/4 teaspoon. You know what? I lied to you. Our 1/2 teaspoon of cumin is actually supposed to go into the pot. So I'm going to put that in right now. Half teaspoon of cumin. All right, I'm going to mix that up real quick before I add the rest into my eggs. And I'm going to take this off the skillet here in about 2 minutes. Mix this cumin in really good. Oh, it smells so good. I can't wait to have a bite of this. This smells really good. And if you're cooking along, I'm sure you're going to smell that cumin immediately as well. Okay. Turn my burner down just a little bit, maybe down to low, because it's about cooking. I want to keep it warm. So I wouldn't turn it completely off. But I did turn it down to like 1. Okay. So that looks like it's about done. Keep it warmed up. And so now we're going to put this 1/4 teaspoon of cumin into our eggs. Okay. This calls for. I'm just going to mix that up a little bit more with our egg beater here. Yes. That was great. Okay, perfect. All right, so now we're going to take our ingredient, the bell peppers, the beans, all our ingredients here in this pot. We're going to put it on a plate. Okay. Okay, clean this plate off real quick. Let me get a new home for my skillet. All right. Oh, looks great. Voila. Okay, that's what we're looking at right now. We're going to put this off to the side for a moment. Okay. We're going to quickly rinse out our pan. Unless you have another one, you can do that as well. I'm just going to clean this off real quick. Bear with me here. Thank you, everybody. You're doing great, by the way. I know you are. Okay, that should do. Make sure you wipe this pan out. Make sure it's dry when you put it back on the skillet, because we're going to put our eggs in here. And let's see here. Well, no cooking spray, so I'm just going to put a little bit of oil in here. If you have cooking spray, you want to coat the pan right now with cooking spray, okay? Just a tiny bit of oil. Just a tiny bit, a dollop. I think it calls for like a 1 teaspoon, okay? Or heat is still on. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. We're going to add our eggs here in just a second, okay? All right, perfect. And cilantro also, it's optional this. So I don't have my cilantro here, but it's optional if you want to include the cilantro as well. That's totally up to you. Make sure we coat the bottom of our pan here. And you shouldn't have to do this. If you've got cooking spray, I just don't have it here. I'm not sure what happened to it, but you won't have to do what I'm doing. Just give it a quick spray and you'll be good to go. All right. All right, here we go. Looking good, guys. Looking real good. I'm going to just kind of throw my eggs around. Make sure they get nice and fluffy. Okay, don't burn them. So you don't want to let them sit for too long, because if the skillet gets too hot, the bottom will look really brown and it can taste a little interesting. So try to show it some love. Turn this up just a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. And like I said, depending on your stove, it might cook quicker, it might not, and you might just have to adjust your temperature on your burner. Okay. Let's see here. We're just about done. 3 to 5 minutes. Beautiful. Yeah. So we're just going to make sure we get these eggs prepared to the consistency you want it. We are going to add our bell peppers and our beans and our garlic cloves and our green onions. And then we're going to warm up our tortillas. That's my personal preference. You can put them in a cold tortilla if you like. I just prefer my tortillas to be warm. Let's see here. Beautiful. Love it. Perfect. Okay. Let me get another plate out of here real quick to get prepared. Okay. Our eggs are now cooking. Yes. Oh, that cumin smells so good. I wish I could see you guys cooking right now. I'm sure yours looks way better than mine. But like I said, aesthetically, it doesn't matter how it looks as long as it tastes amazing. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's see, these are cooking pretty quick, actually. It says 2 to 3 minutes. Mine will probably be done here in about 1.5 minutes, because I think I got my burner up a little too high. And that's okay. If you get done early and you're cooking 1.5 minutes, that's fine too. All right. Oh, it smells so good. I thought I wasn't hungry until I smelled this. And this is actually very easy to make, packed with nutrients. If you're on the go, you got a lot of things going on. This isn't a hard dish to make at all. So very convenient. And you can add, salt and pepper if you like. We'll put some pepper in here as well right about now. I think it calls for a teaspoon, a quarter teaspoon. And you can measure it out. A quarter teaspoon is just a couple of dashes. It doesn't necessarily need to be accurately measured. You know, it's really up to your liking. I'm gonna leave it right about there. Finish mixing it up a little bit, and I think we're about done. Oh, these are great. Picture perfect eggs. I thought it was gonna look much worse. Back down. Beautiful. Give you an idea what these bad boys look like. That's what we should be looking like right there, somewhat in that area. Okay, getting an idea of the consistency. Now we are going to. I'm going to heat my tortilla up real quick, and then we are going to wrap this burrito up, and go to town. All right. All righty. So. Like, do that for a moment. I hope you guys are enjoying this dish. I hope you guys enjoy how it tastes more so than anything. We're done. Okay, beautiful. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, what it's saying is when we're done warming up our tortilla, or if you're ready to use your cold tortilla right now, we are going to lay out our tortilla. We're going to put the eggs in the middle. We're going to get a scoop of our veggies and beans, put that on top, and then we're going to add some cheese. I'm going to show you how to fold it up, and we should be ready to go. Okay. This isn't too warm. I'm going to turn my burner up here. Actually, I should have left from this one. I'm going to put a little switcheroo here. This will work much better. Oh yeah. So, okay, this is actually warm enough. All right, guys and gals, and everybody, we're going to keep our eggs in the middle. I'm not missing anything here. Beautiful. Okay, I think we're about ready. So, put your eggs in the middle, like so. All right, kind of slippery here. And you know, you don't overload the eggs because you're going to fold the burrito up. And if you do, it's going to be hanging out the side. I'm sure you guys have had that issue before. You bite into a burrito, everything falls on the bottom. We definitely don't want that. So yeah, don't overload it because we definitely want to have more in our mouth and on our plate and on our chest. All right. So this is what we're looking at, like here. If you guys can see that, not too much, kind of lining up in the middle in the line. Okay, ish. All right, we're going to add our veggies and our beans. It's kind of looking like that at the moment. And then we're going to want to sprinkle our cheese on here. And you know what I might have did? I might have sprinkled my cheese on my eggs beforehand because it might have melted a little bit better. So it might not be as melty as you'd like it, but it is still warm, so it might. So we're going to see. And this is at your discretion. If you're a cheese person, you want to overload it, totally up to you. But mine looks something like this at the moment. If you can see that. Oh, it smells great. So I might just let it hang out for a quick second to get that cheese to melt. All right. Move this out of the way so I can. Well, beautiful. It was looking good. The cheese is actually melting reasonably well. So maybe just like another minute here. And there's also, for those of you that are vegetarian, there's also vegetarian options as well. You just maybe need to omit some things. I'm not a vegetarian, so I'm not sure exactly what in these ingredients. I imagine eggs and the cheese perhaps, so if that's vegan, but I'm sure you know, but you can also interchange those items as well. Very easy to do. And I think we're just going to fold it up now. So what we're going to do is, I wish I had a better angle here. So you want to fold one end of the tortilla, like so, if you can see. Fold, and then do the same to the other end. Okay. And then you're going to fold it long ways or sideways twice. Okay, the first one, if you want to wrap it over all the contents and kind of scoop it together like so. Boom. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, your hearty egg burrito. Okay. And let me see here. I definitely can't leave you all without taking a taste. And if you've got yours completed, why don't we all cheers and take a taste together? How about that? Okay. Here we are. I'm going to cheers to the camera. Boom. That's really good. So I don't talk my mouth full. That's really good. I hope you all feel the same. I'm gonna eat this whole thing, not now, after we're done here. But that concludes our hearty egg burrito nutrition recipe. I hope you all not only got a new recipe in your repertoire, but you had some fun here learning about some new things. We learned about some information about bell peppers as well. So in general, I hope you had a good experience. We do this every last Friday of the month. So we hope to in the future see more of you here, and we can continue to put more recipes in your repertoire, pardon me. And yeah, thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you soon.
Okay. So
Thanks,
So if you're interested in sharing a selfie with your dish, please do so and just follow the instructions that are placed in the chat. Okay. Yeah, you can just hashtag NOONtrition and tag at Stan State Basic Needs or Health Education and Stan Residential Life. We also have a brief survey we'd like to ask you to complete and share your feedback about the activity. And our next NOONtrition live food demo is still being planned, and we'll post it on the website. So we hope you all can join us. And you can also visit the Basic Needs website to access current and past nutrition recipes and get more information on the Basic Needs website. So thank you again, and we hope everybody has a great weekend.
Bye, guys. Thank you.